10:30 in Cannon. Help me, 10 or 10:30? Well, come at 10. It'll be at 10:30. That way you won't be late. But she's got a very interesting report that they have compiled about the human rights violations, changing the classification of the Cuban political prisoners from prisoners to kidnapped, and also calling out the OAS for admitting Cuba as one of their member states, even though it goes against its fundamental charter, but many other surprises. I won't steal her thunder. But Albio and I, along with our congressional colleagues, Lincoln Diaz-Balart and Mario Diaz-Balart, have held these Cuba Forum Days for a series of years. Sadly, nothing has changed in Cuba. If there has been a change, it is a change for the worse, because there's more repression, there's more detention, there are more people in jail every year, and this year more than last year. Last year, for example, the ladies in white had not been beaten up in the way that they've been beaten up this year. Who are the ladies in white? They will explain it to you, but basically it's a group of ladies, a small group but ever growing, who have their loved ones in jail. In jail for doing what? For speaking out for freedom, for democracy, for human rights, for breaking no laws, but only in Cuba can that be a violation of the laws. And so on Sundays, they peacefully walk down the streets of Havana with a photograph of their loved ones, maybe the husband, the son, some relative, someone they know, pointing out without even muttering a word, this is our situation. And it is a threat to the Cuban regime to have these peaceful ladies dressed in white march down the streets of Cuba with their portraits of their loved ones. How could that possibly be a threat? That is how insecure the communist totalitarian regime is in Cuba. And so we are dedicating this day for the ladies in white. That is probably the only unfortunate how have things changed from this year from last year's forum to this year's forum. More repression, more arrest, more intimidation, more harassment, and more deaths, more political prisoners. The ladies in white, as you know, every week they beg to get this permit so that they can peacefully walk. They get beaten up, and Jenny said will show us, not only do you have the visual representations here, but you'll soon see a great video of the kind of treatment they have received. And deaths. Orlando Zapata Tamayo. What has been his crime? Speaking out in favor of freedom and human rights. A simple bricklayer, and he went on a hunger strike. He was a man of principles, and unfortunately he lost his life. The ones responsible for his death, the Castro regime. There can be no question about that. So Albio, Lincoln, Mario, and I are thrilled to once again be here, and it's sad that we're here, though. Sad that we have to have another Cuba Freedom Day. Sad that we have to have these political prisoners. Look at their lapel pins. 22 years in prison, 22, 20. It's just amazing. These are living heroes. And life is tough for everybody. Pues para Albio, para nuestros colegas Lincoln Diaz-Balart, Mario Diaz-Balart y una servidora, Iliana Rosletinen, es un placer estar aquí con ustedes, con estos héroes. Pero es una pena que estamos aquí otro año más hablando de los mismos temas, de la brutalidad del sistema castrismo, del tipo de golpiza que reciben las damas de blanco, de la muerte de Orlando Zapata Tamayo, de los múltiples presos políticos que están ahí. Yanisset, mañana vamos a tener una conferencia de prensa con ella donde vamos a distribuir el nuevo reporte de las violaciones de derechos humanos en Cuba, clasificando los presos políticos como secuestrados, castigando una vez más a la OEA por permitir a Cuba ser parte de ese grupo, mientras que al mismo momento estaban diciéndole no a Honduras, pero aceptando a Cuba como parte del grupo de la OEA y muchos otros temas. Así que Yo felicito a estos héroes porque son los héroes nuestros. 20 años en la cárcel, 22 años, 10 años, 9 años. Vamos a darle un aplauso. A las damas de blanco se la dedicamos a la memoria de Orlando Zapata Tamayo y se la dedicamos a Guillermo Fariñas y otros héroes que están en huelga de hambre hoy en día, sufriendo los golpes de la brutalidad del sistema castrista. ¿En favor de qué? Que lo que dice nuestra ley Burton: respeto a los derechos humanos, libres elecciones, libre expresión de ideas. Esos son principios universalmente aceptados, pero condenados y aceptados como violaciones en nuestra Cuba. Así que con ustedes, mi colega Albio Cires, de New Jersey.